Breaking news. Things are heating up behind the scenes in Patriots Nation. Rumors, moves, and a whole new energy are taking over Foxborough. Something big is about to go down. Before we dive deeper into this electrifying story, smash that like button if you believe the Pats have what it takes to make it back to the grandest stage in football, the Super Bowl. I truly believe this is our year. I'm saying that straight from the heart. If you're feeling the same way, drop this in the comments. Pats, I have faith. Faith moves mountains, and I'm already believing that any obstacle, aka mountain, trying to block our road to the Super Bowl is already gone in a twist that has fans buzzing across Patriots Nation. Rob Gronkowski, yes. The Gronk himself has handed out a rare A+ grade for New England's 2025 draft class. And he didn't stop there. On his latest podcast, the legendary tight end went all in on second-round pick Trevayon Henderson, saying the Ohio State product could walk in and start from day one, possibly replacing Rhamondre Stevenson as the Patriots' RB1. Bold, sure, but Gronk doesn't throw around that kind of praise lightly, and the more you hear about Henderson, the more it starts to make sense. This isn't just your average rookie back. Henderson, at a glance, brings echoes of James White's versatility and efficiency to the table. Gronk emphasized how his pass protection, yes, his blocking is elite for a rookie. That's music to the ears of Patriots fans who remember how critical a reliable third down back was during the Brady era. Now imagine that same reliability helping the Patriots' new quarterback Drake Maye settle into the NFL. Think about it, when you've got a rookie QB under pressure, a dependable safety valve changes everything. Henderson's college production speaks volumes. Over 1,000 rushing yards and 10 touchdowns last season, after dropping 926 yards and 11 touchdowns the year prior. But his pass-catching ability is where things get intriguing. Ohio State's offense wasn't designed to target running backs frequently, yet Henderson still managed to flash. With 27 catches for 284 yards and then 19 for 229 yards in consecutive years. This is a guy who runs routes, not just screens and checkdowns, but legitimate routes, and he averaged 15 routes per game, with the Patriots' offensive system likely heading back to its classic quick passing, dink and dunk routes under Josh McDaniels. Henderson may be tailor-made for this environment. And don't overlook his PFF grades: 75.1 receiving grade in 2024 and 73.6 in 2023. Compare that with Stevenson's underwhelming 60.2 over the past 3 seasons, and you begin to see why Gronk is high on this guy. Even Antonio Gibson, now part of the mix, clocked in at just 65.6 in 2024. Henderson's ability to pass protect and catch out of the backfield gives the Patriots a legitimate dual-threat weapon that could transform the dynamics of the offense. But let's talk real implications here. Is Rhamondre Stevenson on the hot seat? He's got the physicality. He's had flashes, most notably over 1,000 rushing yards in 2022, but 6 fumbles last season. That's a backbreaker in Belichick's playbook now. Mike Vrabel's. There's only so much leash you get when turnovers stack up. And Gronk made a crystal clear point in clutch moments, like a 3rd and 8 blitz up the gap. Henderson could be the one trusted to pick up the linebacker and give Maye time to hit Stefon Diggs or Kyle Williams. Yes, you heard that right. Stefon Diggs and rookie standout Kyle Williams are now in the fold, giving New England a legitimate arsenal of pass catchers. So, the narrative shifts. Do you want the steady power of Stevenson or the dual threat explosiveness of Henderson? The coaching staff has a real decision to make, and fans might need to weigh in sooner than later. Speaking of Kyle Williams, this guy may be one of the most underrated names in the 2025 draft class. Coming out of college with nearly 1,200 receiving yards and a jaw-dropping 14 touchdowns, Williams has future WR3 written all over him, maybe more. His measurables are similar to Cation Boot or Cation Booty, depending who you ask. And this leads us straight into the next headline grabber. Is Boot on the trading block? Reports are swirling. SB Nation's Brian Hines called out a potential move, and the Dallas Cowboys might just be sniffing around. Let's be honest. Their receiver room behind CeeDee Lamb is thinner than a preseason playbook. Enter Boot, 5'11", 197 pounds, with 43 receptions and 589 yards in the second half of 2024 alone. He started to click with Drake Maye, but will that be enough to keep his roster spot? Take a look at the numbers game. Diggs, Pop Douglas, Kyle Williams, Kendrick Bourne, Yalen Polk, M. Collins, Boot himself, and possibly more from the undrafted free agent pool. That's a crowded wide out room. Boot may simply be the odd man out. His trade value, reasonable. ESPN's Adam Schefter and insider Jordan Schultz both mention him as a potential trade chip, even before the draft, and with Mike Vrabel looking to usher in a new culture goodbye. Joe Cardona and David Andrews, hello clean slates. Not hard to imagine the axe falling. Here's the kicker. Kyle Williams brings not just similar size to boot, but greater upside. He's faster, more productive in college, and seems to be a seamless fit for McDaniel's offensive scheme. If there's overlap in style, why keep both? Vrabel might be thinking the same thing. And if Jerry Jones comes calling with even a mid-round draft pick, don't be surprised if the trigger gets pulled. It's worth noting, though, that boot isn't a lock to be cut his rookie deal. Keeps him affordable, and New England could wait until preseason to showcase his skills and elevate his value. A productive exhibition stint might be all it takes to convert him into a fourth-rounder. That said, time is running out, with a stacked depth chart and positional battles heating up. Decisions are coming fast, so now we're left with the big questions hanging in the air for Patriots fans. First, who should be the RB1 going into Week 1, Stevenson or Henderson? And second, should the Pats ship out Boot while he still has value, or hold out for a breakout? Let's hear it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Type RS for Rhamondre Stevenson or T for Trevayon Henderson. And on the receiver front, Y for yes or N for no. Should the Patriots trade Cation Boot? We're just getting started here on the Brett Alper era of Patriots today, and if this first episode's any indication, the drama, the hype, and the storylines are only going to get better from here. Make sure to subscribe and follow me at Alper on Twitter and Instagram. Let's keep this conversation rolling, and as always, let's keep it rolling, because if you thought the first half of this off-season drama was spicy, part 2 is where things start cooking. We're talking about the rise of Kyle Williams, the sneaky potential of Jalen Polk, and what the return of Josh McDaniels as offensive coordinator could really mean for the future of this Patriots offense. And yes, there's a lot more going on beneath the surface than what's been on the headlines. Let's start with Kyle Williams. This kid has the makings of a breakout star, not just in the nice depth piece kind of way, but as a legitimate WR3 threat who could push Kendrick Bourne and maybe even Pop Douglas for reps. Williams racked up nearly 1,100 yards and 14 touchdowns last season at college. But what stands out more is how polished his route running is for a rookie. Coaches inside the building are already impressed. He's reportedly staying late at the facility, building rapport with Drake Maye, and spending time in the film room like a veteran. This isn't just hearsay. Multiple sources close to the team have confirmed that Williams has been working closely with both McDaniels and wide receivers coach Troy Brown to fast-track his learning curve, and the comparison that keeps coming up. Cation Boot, same size, similar style, but here's the twist. Williams is reportedly faster, crisper on routes, and far more consistent with his hands. That spells trouble for Boot. But more importantly, it puts Williams in a real position to steal meaningful snaps early in the season. If he continues this trajectory, we're not talking about a bench warmer or a gadget guy, we're talking about a top 3 receiver in an offense that's expected to be far more pass-happy in 2025. Then there's Jalen Polk. Now here's a name not enough fans are talking